App. Cataract acquisition. Eye status. If you did not determine the patient's eye status in HIEX or you want to change the determined status, you can edit the eye's cornea, lens and vitreous status in the acquisition window before starting the acquisition. Select the Eye Status tab. Open the drop-down lists and select the desired status for the displayed eye. For more information, click Info button below. Adjust the fixation light focus and fixation settings to optimize the patient's fixation and to improve the examination quality. Starting the examination. Use the joystick to align the camera laterally. Carefully move the camera towards the patient's eye. Align the camera so that the cornea and the corneal reflex are within the dashed box. Ask the patient to blink and then refrain from blinking for a few seconds. Realign the camera if needed and press the joystick button to start the acquisition. Keep the device as still as possible. If the device prompts you to perform an additional axial length measurement, readjust the camera and press the joystick button. The examination stops automatically. Acquisition quality. After the examination process is completed, the acquisition quality is checked. To display the detailed acquisition quality results, tap Show Details. Check that the camera image is sharp and the pupil and/or white-to-white boundaries are acceptably segmented on the infrared camera image. Review the segmentation of the OCT section image. If the boundary of the anterior corneal surface is not correctly detected, please re-examine the patient. Check topographic data for missing information. Check the standard deviation of axial length measurement for non-pathological eyes with a clearly defined RPE peak and with a stable fixation during the acquisition. The standard deviation should be below 0.02 mm. In the profile, verify that the retinal peak corresponds to the position of the RPE. It is assumed that the highest peak represents the RPE. If you did not determine the patient's eye status before, you can edit it. Tap Edit Eye Status, open the drop-down lists and select the desired status. To save the changes, click Save. To acquire additional images, tap New Acquisition. Cataract analysis. Master IOL database. Before IOLs can be calculated, the relevant IOL constants have to be either added manually to the surgeon's database or imported from a master IOL database. How to import a master IOL database. Log in as a user with administrator rights, e.g. as a key user to have access to the default settings in the analysis window. Click Default Settings. Select the Master IOL Database tab in the displayed Default Settings window. To import or update the Master IOL database, click Import Master IOL Database. Browse to the folder where the IOL database is located and select the desired file. The following file formats are supported for the import of a Master IOL database. Read the End User License Agreement and click Accept to agree. After the import, the Master IOL database is displayed. In case availability of a desired IOL is not included in the Master IOL database, it can be added in that view as well. Select the desired IOL and click on the Edit icon next to the name. In the following dialog window, all constants are shown. Click the Edit icon next to spheric availability and/or toric availability, and enter range and increments. Then click OK. Click Save as default. Personal IOL database. To configure your personal IOL database, log in as the desired user. Click Settings. Create your personal IOL database by adding IOLs manually or copy and paste IOLs from the master IOL database. Adding an IOL from the master IOL database. From the master IOL database, select the desired IOL and click plus. Add IOL to my IOL database next to the selected IOL name. The selected IOL is added to your personal IOL database. Note that the availability of a desired IOL can only be edited in the master IOL database. Adding an IOL manually. Click plus, add IOL to my IOL database. Enter an IOL name and the desired IOL constants. Next to spheric availability, click the Edit icon and enter a diopter range and increments. Then click OK. Next to toric availability, click the Edit icon and enter a diopter range and increments. Then click OK. Click Create to add the IOL to your personal IOL database. Click Save to confirm the changes. Biometry OU View. Biometry OU View provides an overview of all relevant data for both eyes. The examinations of both eyes, if the examinations have been performed on the same day, are automatically pre-selected in the Selected Series section. Values for OD, OS and the OD, OS difference are displayed in the More section in the Premium IOL tab. More section, Premium IOL tab. All relevant data for IOL calculation, including anterior axial curvature, astigmatism, total corneal wavefront, characteristics of the anterior chamber and axial length measurement, are displayed in the Premium IOL tab. More section, Basics tab. Cornea data is shown in the Basics tab. Values for OD, OS and the OD, OS difference are displayed. Some parameters can be superimposed as overlays on the colour maps or the camera images. Select the checkbox next to the overlay. Review corneal geometry. Above the colour map, open the drop-down list and select the desired view or image. To view more maps, select the Cornea Single OD/OS view or the Cornea OU view if the Cornea app is available on the device. Select checkbox in the Basics tab for superimposing an overlay. Review the segmentation and anatomic boundaries. You can use the slider above the OCT section or press Alt on the keyboard to adjust the image brightness and contrast. Drag and drop the slider to the desired position and increase or decrease the image brightness and contrast. Alternatively, hold down Alt on the keyboard until the mouse cursor switches to the contrast icon. Move the cursor up and down or left and right while holding down the left mouse button to increase or decrease image brightness and contrast. To reset to the default values, double-click the slider. For aqueous depth and lens thickness can be adjusted. The segmentation boundaries cannot be edited. Verify that the OCT section image has been segmented acceptably. If the boundaries of the anterior corneal surface are not correctly detected, please re-examine the patient. If the boundaries of the posterior corneal surface, anterior or posterior lens surface along the line of sight are not correctly detected, the boundaries represented by the blue lines should be manually adjusted. Double-click a boundary in the OCT section image to open the editor. Move the segmentation line by dragging and dropping it where desired. Then save and close. Restore your images with the Restore All button. Edit the eye status. Edit the eye status if it was not defined during the examination. Click the eye status and edit the status of the cornea, lens and vitreous for both eyes. Then save and close. Review the axial length. In the axial length section, check the standard deviation. For non-pathological eyes with a clearly defined RPE peak and with a stable fixation during the acquisition, the standard deviation should be below 0.02 mm. To open the axial length editor, double-click the segmentation line in the axial length section. In the profile, verify that the retinal peak corresponds to the position of the RPE. It is assumed that the highest peak represents the RPE. Edit the axial length, drag and drop the vertical line to the desired position or double-click the desired position. Then save and close. Restore the automatically detected retinal peak, click Restore. And then save and close. If the axial length cannot be measured, click the axial length value and enter a new value, and click Manual Value to confirm the changes. The warning message, Axial Length Value Entered Manually, is displayed. To restore to the automatically calculated axial length, click Calculated Value. Calculation OU, Spheric IOL. Edit the eye status if it was not defined during the examination. To select the desired spherical equivalent target refraction, use the plus or minus button, or enter the value in the text field. From the IOL database drop-down list, select the personal IOL database from which you want to retrieve the IOLs. If a template has already been saved, you can select it from the template drop-down list. If you did not select a template, select the desired formula from the formula drop-down list and the desired IOL from the IOL drop-down list. The IOL power and residual refraction values are automatically calculated. You can save the selected combination of parameters as a template if you want to reuse them. Click the disk icon and enter the desired name of the template. Then click Save. On all workstations in the network, the new template can now be selected from the Template drop-down list. Reports. To save the IOL calculation of the patient, click Report. Print the template report as on screen, or select another template in the drop-down list. Reports can be saved as DICOM report in the HIEX database, or as a PDF, PNG, or JPEG files in the file system. Calculation OU, toric IOL. If you want to calculate toric IOLs, make sure to use IOLs with the regarding toric availability. Here a template is used, created as mentioned in the chapter before. First, the spheric IOL power is calculated. Check the checkbox next to the desired spheric IOL power and residual refraction you want to use for the toric calculation. Then click Open Toric Incision Calculator at the bottom of the Calculation OU tab. The Advanced IOL Calculator is displayed. Select one of the parameters from the Astigmatism drop-down list. Total corneal power, recommended or anterior axial curvature. There are three ways to set the incision location. Enter the desired value in the text field. Use the plus or minus button to change the incision location. Or drag and drop the green incision location line on the camera image. To set the value for surgically induced astigmatism, you have two options. Enter the desired value in the text field. Use the plus or minus button to specify the value. The IOL axis is automatically calculated and displayed in degrees. To manually change the IOL axis overlay, drag and drop the red dash line on the camera image. To reset the IOL axis, click Automatic. Please note that manually changing the IOL axis overlay is not possible for the Barrett formulae. Overlay options. Below the camera images, you can adjust the map overlay opacity and the IOL overlay opacity using the sliders. On the camera image, the map and/or the IOL and IOL axis are superimposed if the map visible in toric calculator option and/or the IOL visible in toric calculator is set to yes in the default settings section. Please note that the map overlay is not available for the Barrett formulas. The table at the bottom shows the applied formula in the calculated values. Toric IOL details, cylinder of the IOL, cylinder of the IOL in the corneal plane, axis. Select the checkbox next to the desired toric calculation values to display the values in a blue frame. Please note that warning messages are displayed to indicate risks concerning the IOL calculation. To display more information, hover over the warning symbol. Reports. To save the IOL calculation of the patient, click Report. Print the template report as on screen. Reports can be saved as DICOM report in the HIEX database, or as a PDF, PNG, or JPEG files in the file system.